Hello, welcome to this week's version of Together We Feel Come As You Are. It's a Come As You Are panel today, and it has that feeling to it. We're at the end of August, and here in the Northern Hemisphere, we're wrapping up summer. People on their last minute vacations. Kids are starting to head back to school. Some parts of the country are still very hot, like where I'm at. Other parts of the country are starting to feel more fall-like. But on the flip side, literally, of the world, we have a new friend with us today, Nadine Ellis, who's joining us from Southern Australia, where it's the end of winter. And so she's in a very different season. And so it's always kind of fun to remember of what a big world it is, what a small world it is that we can all come together this way, and what a big world it is in terms of the difference in the seasons and what we're experiencing in this time. But I want to welcome back my friend Blanca Madrigal and welcome our new friend Nadine Ellis here today on the Come As You Are panel. Thanks so much for joining me, ladies.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you. Yeah.
All right. Let's start with Blanca. Tell me why you wanted to be on this Come As You Are panel today. How are you doing? You're in transition time in your house. You've sent the kids back to school. You're trying to find your flow again as you go into the upcoming fall season here.
Exactly. And I almost didn't make it because it's been an interesting day on the computer with the internet. But when I saw your reminder message, I thought, exactly, this is the moment to join a conversation because we come as we are. Like, things were not perfect. Absolutely not. I spent a day trying to figure out the internet. And then I had all the focus and energy I needed to do so today, right? To be on it and be productive. And then I got hit with technical issues. So I thought, well, let me join this conversation. A finish of the day, might as well. Good conversation. Yeah.
It's a change of scenery.
There you go. And the best laid plans. Like you're like, kids are at school. I can get caught up on my to-do list. I can really focus without distraction. And then the Wi-Fi doesn't want to work.
Yeah. and it's only been 1 week and we're back. Right. And so, it took that week, got them settled. They're still getting into routines. And this was my first Monday. I thought, okay, this is it. We're going back to normal. And then, things, don't always happen as we plan it.
That's the universe telling you to be flexible.
Oh boy, does it remind me that often.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I know Nadine hits it on, Nadine and I have the advantage of having grown children. So we have navigated these seasons already. In fact, before we got on, Nadine was sharing some great wisdom with Blanca about, what's coming with their kids and things to expect with the daughter and all these things. And it's just such a good reminder that you just keep putting one foot in front of another. You keep moving forward and you've learned that the things that used to really get to me, I just don't allow to have that much power anymore. And I think that just comes with age and time. For me, it's been just this realization this month that I have to quit looking at my calendar as a time collection and rather look at it as a bandwidth collection. So when I look at my day, rather than looking at how many hours in the day are available for me to schedule something, what things do I have scheduled and what are they going to require of me to help me determine of how much I'm going to put into my calendar that day. And that's a lesson I've learned the hard way this summer. I have added some new things to my network this summer that require more energy spread out than I have had before. And so I realized about a third of the way through the month, 2/3 of the way through the month, like, oh, wait a minute. I got to do my August a little differently next year, knowing what I know now. And I really have to look at my calendar in terms of my capacity versus time in the day, which is a hard thing to do because especially growing up in capitalistic societies where it's very much a discussion of having your day filled means you're productive, means you're getting things done, rather than looking at what kind of energy deposits and withdrawals are happening here. And if I overschedule, what is my presence going to be versus if I schedule according to my capacity? And so it was just a real epiphany moment. So yeah. Nadine, how are you? How are things? You were on Tuesday morning already.
Yes, yeah, I'm in the future. Tomorrow is a new day, so you guys are fine. Yeah, I've literally just come back from interstate. Spent a week visiting. My husband's on the locum as a radiographer interstate, so I thought I'm going to take a week off, just chill with him, have a lovely time. The weather was beautiful where we were, and the plan was to drive back to Adelaide, where I'm from, on Saturday. So he came for the trip to keep me company, and the plan was then Sunday he drives his car back to interstate. All good and well, we're doing such great time on Saturday, and then all of a sudden I can hear this sort of clunk metallic sort of scraping sound in the car, and I'm thinking, oh, do I crank the music up a bit louder and just go into denial? So like waking him up from his little car snooze, I'm like, can you hear that noise? And he's going, yeah, it sounds a bit weird. So we kind of went to pull over just to check out that, everything was hunky-dory with the car. And then all of a sudden it just stalls on me. And we have to sort of like roll into the side of the road. Beautiful husband, he gets in there, opens up the bonnet and has a look at all the fluids. Everything looks fine. Nothing visually out of place. So after a short period of time, we try to sort of turn it over again, and just this big sort of noise happens, and then we're like, oh. So we're in the middle of nowhere at this point. So we thought we're just gonna like see if it will crank over again and just go for it. So we did, and we got probably a kilometre out. Now, are you guys kilometres or miles?
We're miles.
Okay, so probably less than a mile out from where we were, it died. It died. And there was like white smoke bellowing out from the front and the back. And we like quickly pulled over and jumped out because we thought the whole thing was going to explode. Anyway.
Yeah, it looks like a movie.
It was just like unbelievable. Anyway, so at the moment we're thinking, well, we're not going to get home in time at this rate. And lo and behold, eventually a couple of hours later, we get like the road service people come and help us out. And it turns out that something wrong with the engine. Well, that was a given. And eventually we get taken back, excuse me, back where we'd already come from, basically. Jeez. And we're waiting for a tow truck to come and get the car. And we got hold of a loan car. And so instead of being home like the equivalent of 3:30 in the afternoon, we didn't get home till just before midnight. Not with the car, though. It was a loan car. Yeah. My car is still interstate. And it turns out the pistons that go up and down in the engine. Yeah, well, mine decided that it was, instead of going vertically, it would go horizontal, and it punctured. Yeah, it punctured through the engine block. So I've killed a car.
Totally it. When you blow the engine block, you're toast.
Yeah. And the thing is, this is not the first car I've killed.
You're a serial car killer.
I don't thrash my cars. I just do a lot of mileage. And I've got my kids saying, oh, look, you can replace the engine. And I'm thinking, this will be the third engine going into this car.
Oh, my goodness.
So anyway, lo and behold, I got home. We had to go back interstate to drop off the loan car, which we did yesterday. And then my husband, that was the day before. We drove back Sunday, drove the loan car back interstate. and then another like
Oh,
8 hours back, another 8 hours here, this sort of stuff. And my husband then took his car and drove back to finish his locum interstate. So I'm without a car.
Oh.
My car is interstate, and we have to get it towed down here. And then we're like ringing around finding out costs for engine replacement. It's just been a nightmare. So this is where I'm at. This is me at the moment going, trying to process how I'm going to get from A to B. Luckily, my mother let me borrow her car.
Oh, good. Good.
So I've got some sort of transportation for the week, but she's without transportation now. So we've kind of like done the generational rollback. So, but yeah, so
oh my gosh,
this is me, and it's like I must just let it happen. So
yes,
it is what it is. Luckily, he's at work now. I'm at home. We'll sort it out. And it's like, it's just a car. It's just material possessions. No one got hurt except for the car. But it's like, what can you do?
You both have just laid out such a, like, this is life. This is how life rolls. And so it's what we do in the midst of these things that determine how we feel, how we proceed. Mm-hmm. It's very easy with both of your examples, very out of sorts. So like, oh my gosh, the car, because car stuff is stressful. It's time consuming. It's never convenient. It's expensive. It's all the things. And it's just a car. Like, all the things are true, and the internet, it's stuff. It's like, it's things on my to-do list. I need to get these done. This is driving me crazy. I can't believe when I finally have the time. And nobody is, gonna lose their mind or life over this today. I mean, so it's like holding the nuance of all the things, but it's like, okay, so what do I do with this, with all this stuff that's stirring up inside of me? So Blanca, I'll go back to you, and then Nadine, you talk to me about how do you cope with these kinds of day-to-day stressors when they come up? What have you learned over the years? Blanca, yeah. So Blanca, I'll have you go first, and then Nadine will come to you.
No worries.
How would I like to cope?
Very well said.
I've been thinking of this idea. Maybe I read it somewhere. This week started. It's like nothing is inherently good and nothing is inherently bad. So I'm trying to keep a neutral way so that I can, think better. So that's what I'm trying to do this week.
Yeah.
And usually, but it doesn't always work. Well, today I'm just gonna reschedule things for tomorrow or maybe later tonight. I'm trying to keep a neutral reaction to things because I can't fix it. You see, I just got kicked out of the conversation. So you missed me for a couple minutes. That's how my goal this month and the rest of the year is to keep this reaction that nothing's inherently good and nothing's inherently bad. So I'm usually quite I could be dramatic in my reaction sometimes. But I'm trying to be even. I'm trying to take a pause and to breathe. That's what I'm trying to do. I'll report to you later on that.
Well, I mean, but you came right back in. I think I want to give you kudos for the fact you didn't throw in the towel. You're like, all right, well, I'm just going to join back in again, and we're going to see how it goes. And sometimes that's how it is. So Nadine, talk to me about how you've, keeping yourself kind of as much of an even keel as you can.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I'm like 60 now, so I've kind of experienced a fair bit of things just going haywire. And I think along the way, I kind of realized, things are going to happen, and it's okay to sort of react in the moment. But I think you've also got to be able to take a step back and actually look at it objectively. And okay, no one gets hurt or no one was hurt. Worst case scenario, okay, our plans that we had made are going to shift, you know.
Mhm.
And it's like Blanca was saying, tomorrow, you know, I'll restart or it's a new day. So, yeah, it's like nothing cannot be undone or changed. So I think if you always remember that, yes, it's super inconvenient, but, you know, I was with my husband. We had a nice time. It was beautiful scenery. I was taking photographs while we waited for the car service to come. So you always got to look for the nice things or the good things around you. Even when you're in the middle of chaos, there's always going to be something good to sort of give you that sort of, well, okay, the weather's good. It's not raining, you know. It's like it's not in the
Yeah.
middle of we had phone reception, so things could have got a lot worse, but they
Yeah.
weren't. So I think instead of focusing on the negative stuff, I try to sort of be, well, it's not so much present, but it sort of, yeah, it is present. It's not so much trying to be positive. It's just noticing what is around me and thinking, well, yeah, it was a nice warm day. The sun was there. And like I said, I tried to turn things into a good experience. And it resolved.
Yeah.
Like it hasn't totally resolved, but I got home. I got to sleep in my own bed.
Mhm.
You know, that's okay. And yeah, okay, I'm probably going to have to fork out a bit of money, but that's only money. You know, we can make more money. Yeah, it'll sort itself out. And I think that's me. I kind of like, I focus on what needs to be done in that sort of moment. And I think, well, we've got to get home somehow. It won't be in my car, but we'll get there. And there are people that I could have called.
So what's that next step?
Yeah, it's you suddenly get really focused. Okay, how do I get to B now that I'm here stuck in A? And I think that's very much like with Blanca. You can, okay, I've dropped off the internet. How do I get back on? And you become very focused. What's the first thing that I need to do? Then what's the next step? Then what's the next step? And then when you're sort of feeling like you're more in a more comfortable environment, you can then relax a bit more and other things can then show themselves and then you can work through that. But yeah, sometimes we need to get very zeroed in. Okay, how do I get to the next step? What needs to be done? So it gets very logistical, doesn't it? Yeah.
And it's a story, isn't it?
Yeah.
Now you have a story.
Yeah.
I mean, that's material for you.
I'm still in the middle of it.
How will the story end?
Yeah. Well, I think the next step is getting the car back home. So we'll get there. But yeah.
I can think of some times where things. Oh, go ahead.
Well, I think too, sometimes I spend a lot of years expending a lot of energy being really angry, feeling really irritated, being really mad. Why me? I can't believe this is happening. And that energy just zapped from me. It didn't do anything to resolve the situation. And so I think it's a balance of, I'm a firm believer in not stuffing emotions. You need to give them room, but give all of them room. Don't just run with the primary hard, bad thing. Allow all of the things around you to be present and true and feel all of them and acknowledge all of them and realizing, and keeping those things in perspective. And then also just giving yourself room, like after you go through something like, okay, what do I need today? I need to take a little step back from this, maybe take a little bit of break. Maybe I reschedule my day and maybe that ends up being a blessing because things are a little lighter. So I've got a little more room. I'm tired. We didn't get home till midnight. Ended up being a lot more driving than we thought. So I got a little more space for myself today instead of just continually being frustrated and giving energy to that. And so I think it's always that balance of trying to find out,
I'm always saying,
okay, what can I do with this time that I have now that I wasn't expecting to have?
I'm always sort of like when things start happening, and especially for the kids, it's like I say to them, you don't have control over that, so there's no point wasting your energy stressing over things you have no control over. You're better off keeping that energy and directing it. That's basically what you were saying, Melissa, directing it to what you can influence. And that is not wasted energy. Then that is more productive, because what's the sense of stressing or being anxious about things that you can't change? It's like, you know, and I think sometimes we have to let things play themselves out and know, well, I have no control. I just have to let that occur. Let's focus on what I can actually do. And then that's empowering ourselves. So it's all about trying to empower ourselves and feel better about the situation. And I think that can take time, as in we get better at it as we get older. But it'd be nice to have that skill set when we're young. And I think, Blanca, you're probably at that point where you can take that on, and sort of concentrate on, well, recognizing, hey, it doesn't matter how much I stress or I'm upset about this or I get angry, like you were saying, Melissa, it's not going to change the outcome. What can I change the outcome on and feel better for it, for myself?
Might even make it worse, right? If we're so stressed about it.
Well,
Because now we're adding another element in there.
It just, we're still not getting anywhere with it. So what's the point? Yeah. Well, that's where I'm at.
Yeah,
anyway.
I think it's continuing to see. Yeah, no, I think it's continuing to see where our choices lie. It's like, okay, what are the things I can control here, but where are my choices within this, so that you can, and which goes back to that empowering piece, is like identifying where my choices lie. Okay, what am I going to do with these choices that I have in front of me? I get to decide, you know, what I'm going to do with that.
Yeah, and I always sort of look at it as if I needed to tell someone, if they had come to me for, hey, what do I do in this situation? Although it's happening to me, I go, okay, like if I had to explain that to somebody else, what would I say? What would I advise them? And then that's where I go, well, now I have to listen to what I would advise and take that on myself. And so that, I think when I was younger, that's how I sort of assimilated that process. And often it'll be when somebody else comes up and says, hey, listen, this is what's happening to me. How do I get through this? And I would say to them, well, this is what I would tell my children. And then they're more likely to take it on, because that's advice that I would give directly to someone that I love. And I find people listen more that way. Instead of saying, hey, you should do this, I say, well, this is what I would tell my child, my daughter. And they're like, oh, okay, you know. So I think then we need to take our own advice and say, well, this is what I would tell other people. Why can't I do it myself? It's like, it's sage advice. I should listen to myself. Yeah.
Yeah, no kidding. That sounded pretty smart. Maybe I should try that on myself and not just tell everybody else to do it.
Yeah.
Aren't we so great at giving advice, right? Aren't we so great at that?
But that's the thing. Women do that a lot too, don't we? We're all for seeing how other people, not how they should do stuff, but we can objectively look at what they're doing and think, hey, this might be better for you, or have you tried doing this? But when it comes to us, whoa, you know, it's a different ball game. It's like, oh, I'm too busy for this, or I can't do that, or I can cope. But you know, we really should just take a beat and go, hey, what would I say to other people, and why don't I actually follow that advice? It is good. So yeah, it comes with time. Hang in there, ladies, you'll get there.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put a note.
It's
what
like,
would Blanca say?
Yeah, well, yeah, and that's what you can say to yourself, Blanca.
Exactly.
Like, what would Blanca say? Blanca would say this. All right, Blanca's a smart woman. I'm going to listen to her.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, that's so true. I love that. I think there's so much into that when you can kind of take yourself out of the situation and kind of look at it from a third person narrative. I mean, I'm finding too, as I'm going through this season right now, we're getting a lot of inquiries from people about wanting to be guests on our platforms, which is a wonderful thing to have happening. But it also has like it's a wonderful like problem, so to speak, to have. But it's also that realizing like you might have to tell some people no right now because you are scheduled out so far. And you or if you want to have them in the future, you might just have to ask them to reach out to you in 6 months or a year. And if they really are wanting to be part of this, then they will do that. But you don't have to. I think that inner narrative that we have of not wanting to disappoint people or not wanting to say no to people. And I tell people all the time, quit over yesing. But it goes back to exactly what we've been talking about. Give the same advice to, well, what would Melissa say? What would Melissa tell someone that she's, advising about this? What would Melissa tell her own daughters? Okay, well, that's true for you too, Melissa.
Yes, yeah. And I think too, like, it was curious how you said that it was a problem for you, but like getting too many people. And I think, well, that's not a problem.
Yeah.
That's an opportunity.
It's an opportunity.
Yes. And it's like, if, like you said, if people really want to be on the show, they'll wait. If people, and that's just anyone in your life, if they want to be with you, they will make time for you. And it doesn't matter the length of time in between. Those that drop off are meant to. So maybe your sort of shift in thinking or what's the word, how you're applying that thing can just be tweaked a little bit. And it's okay to say, great, I'd love to have you on. It'll be around here. Does that sound okay with your sort of plans? And they'll go, oh, yeah, that's fine. And then you don't have to feel bad. They said yes. So it's all how we sort of sell it to ourselves in the end, isn't it? It's that inner dialogue.
Yes. Boy, those inner voices. Oh my gosh, so much. I mean, and I think too, finding different ways to work through that. And whether it's on your walk as you're working these out with yourself, whether you're journaling. Both of you are very creative in different ways. Blanca, you're a photographer. Nadine, you write poetry. Talk to me about how those creative outlets help you work through things as well. Blanca, go ahead and I'll have you go first.
Well, for me, even if I'm focusing or working with people, I mean, just working with them and seeing how people feel in front of the camera and me working through their emotions, their feelings, that helps me to practice, right? Because it's like, what would Blanca say? Well, I'm saying it to them. My own experiences in getting comfortable in front of the camera, because I've had to for my own self. It helps me with them, and I see, right, what they're uncomfortable, if they're uncomfortable, or we end up encountering a lot of emotions behind the camera. It's interesting. So that's very helpful. And then when it's not people in front of the camera, it's like just noticing the different shifts of perspectives and how that changes the whole scene, and how a small flicker of light might just enhance it, or just moving around. So I suppose that shows how different perspectives right can change the view.
Even just the slightest adjustments.
So I suppose if we were trying to translate that into our conversation, well, it's like, well, how can we look at it from a different point of view, and how does it look
angle
from that? Like, change the angle, change the thoughts, and then you might see something different.
Yeah. Well, and even I'll use an example that you did the other night. You're doing a shoot this weekend, and in the process of that, you captured this beautiful sunset. And it was like you took this opportunity, and you have your beautiful face in it and this beautiful sunset. So even finding those opportunities within the opportunities you were able to find to highlight another thing, to highlight other beauty that you would have encountered had you not been in that space you might have missed.
Yes. And being right, you have to be open, present. Like when we let our thoughts be in the now, like we might see things we might have otherwise missed. I thought, I could have rushed home, and I would have rushed to the car and to get home on time, whatever that means. And then I decided to just take a stroll, look around, and it was beautiful. The moment was beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Yeah.
Nadine, poetry has been a really, really special place for you. So talk to me about how this helps you work through so many things. It has been so therapeutic for you.
Yeah, writing's been like a lifeline to me. It sort of has always been my outlet to actually express myself, and enables me to work through issues or just make sense of the world around me. So a classic example, this last week when I was in interstate, I went and visited a Buddhist temple. It's called the Great
Mm.
and they have this beautiful, it's just set in the middle of the countryside. So we've got like very Australian countryside. So you've got the eucalyptus, gum trees everywhere. And it was just this beautiful, calm day. And they have this, what's known as a peace garden. So outside, there's all these sort of little statues for different sort of religious sort of beliefs, for want of a better word. Sorry, but I think you get the gist of what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
So I thought, before I even go into the temple, I'm just going to sit in nature and just feel or concentrate on my breathing and what I can hear. And I sat there by this sort of gentle little brook of water just sort of trickling down. So I was by this sort of slate sandstone. And I suddenly could hear this little bush of bees humming next to the water. So I had the water trickling and the bees and the wind sort of rustling through the leaves every now and then, and I would feel it against my face. And then I could hear these sort of little birds in the distance making their little noises. And I sat there for probably a good maybe 15 minutes. And I thought, this is perfect. I got out my notebook that I always carry around with me, and I sat there and I wrote a poem. And I just felt so calm and relaxed and centered. And I thought, you know what? Now I'm ready to go into the Buddhist temple and see the beauty that was within. And I thought, we need to take those little moments every now and then just to sit. And like you said, Blanca, be present with what's around us. And then we get more out of what is around us and we see it. And that helps us, for whatever reason, to be more there, But I thought, now I can go in. And I thought, it just was another 15 minutes of my time. But I think I'm always willing to, I've got time constraints or I've got focus points in my day, but I think I'm also willing to be flexible. And I think we all benefit from that flexibility if we can recognize that maybe an extra 5 minutes here or one more minute just to sort of smile at someone that you're walking past or say something nice about someone that you have just met. Those little moments resonate beyond what we have just experienced or what that other person has just experienced. And I think those little things, sometimes just a little acknowledgement of whatever's in front of you or what's around you, you'll benefit tenfold down the track. So for me, writing, I always have this notebook with me, and I may not always have the opportunity to sit and write the poem out or the makings of a poem, but I'll always jot little things that I've experienced in it. And if I am time sort of limited, I don't get frustrated that I haven't been able to write per se, because I know those little notes just accrue and accrue and accrue. And maybe in a week's time or a fortnight's time, there will be an opportunity to sit and I can just write to my heart's content. And I've got so much material already generated within that notebook that for me, it's okay. I know somewhere down the track, things will sort of open up. So, that's how I try to sort of travel. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've digressed a bit from what
I
you were
love that
saying.
example.
Yeah,
Well,
right?
absolutely. And I think, I think that what I loved about that example is you took the moment to sit down, you listen to the brook and the bees, and just all that sounded so soothing. I felt like I was at a spa just listening to you, but also how you prepared yourself to then go in and experience this temple and you probably were able to be so much more present and experience it in a way that you would not have been able to had you not taken that time to prepare before you went in. So, I mean, I think even those little things to make sure, again, staying present and absorbing all that's available to us in the presence.
Yeah. And it was lovely too, because I remember walking into the temple and there was a stack of sort of incense, so you could actually light some incense, and it was just this sort of. So I did, lit some incense and the sort of the bowing and so it's a whole sort of sensory experience, because then all of a sudden you get the lovely smell of the incense wafting, and it's the experience of sort of the kinetic movements that you're enacting, and it's like the symbolism that sort of also creates. You feel like, when in Rome, doing what the Romans, and I just love all that sort of stuff, sort of like trying to experience as much as I can, but respectfully, I don't know.
Absolutely.
I don't know, proper Buddhist practices, but I think the reverie that I felt that I had brought to all the respect, I think it doesn't matter if I make, mistakes or whatever. It should just be accepted that my heart is in the right place and I'm trying to sort of do the right thing, and I think that's okay, So, but it was a lovely experience, and I took my photos and I put them up on Facebook, and it's like I went away from that feeling so nice, it was just a lovely experience, just my own experience, but it made me feel really good, and I'm sharing that with you now. So, it's something that sort of has that resonating effect. Like, throw the little pebble into the pond and the little waves just keep going, So, yeah.
Yeah.
That's great.
I love that. Oh, yeah. That's so good. I love that. Just those moments to be, present. This week, and if you're in middle age, you'll recognize. So this week I'm due for one of those lovely medical things that you do in your 50s, my colonoscopies this week, and and so when you're getting ready for that, you're just like, oh my gosh, and if you've ever done one before, the prep for it is worse than the actual procedure itself, but getting ready for it. But I'm like, in getting ready for it, I get to slow down a little bit. I get a little more time at home. I get a little more time with my husband this week, because he's got to take the afternoon off to take me to the appointment and pick me back up, and then be home with me on Thursday, even though he'll be working from home on Thursday, but still. So getting some of that, and kind of that slowing down that I've been looking for in what's been a very busy, season. And so it's like, there's some parts of it that obviously are less motivational, but there's also parts of it that force me to slow down and just not overdo myself. And so even in the colonoscopy, you can find the moments of peace.
And so you should.
It's the little things.
Yeah, but also like that feeling of being lighter after, like internally.
For sure. I'll be losing 10 pounds in the next few days.
That's a bonus. And like you said, it's like, and the fatigue that you'll feel afterwards, it gives you an opportunity to like decompress and like recenter yourself, and just the I don't know, do you go lie down and sort of sleep when you get home?
Yeah. Because I'll be drowsy. Absolutely. I'll get in bed.
Embrace that, because that's not like an after effect per se. That's all part of the response. And it's your body saying, let's take some time now and regather ourselves. And it's like, enjoy that rest and have a good sleep, because your body needs it. You need that. And there's nothing wrong with that, taking that time out from your busy life. It's sort of this balance. And we need this constant balance. So for you, your choice of making that time to get that balance is productive because it also ensures that you've got no nasty things brewing along the way. So it's a positive, you know?
Yeah. And the fact that I can, so I think it's just, again, it's like taking the nuance of, and laughing about the things that you've got to laugh. We've all had experience that we've shared today of like, oh, life. and here it is.
But
It just
hey,
keeps
we
showing
get
up.
to
But
wake
what are we going
up.
to do with it? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Like if you wake up in the morning, it's a great day.
Yeah.
You know?
Exactly. Beats the alternative, right? I mean,
Absolutely.
we're still here.
Yeah. It's
We're
like,
still
okay,
here.
get on. What else can happen? So,
Right.
Yeah.
Oh
And
my
Vicky,
gosh.
you were saying about dropping off your kids to school and it's like how you feel like the day, a blink of your eye and then it's time to pick them up. I mean, these things are sort of, I think when you're in the midst of having young children, it can seem so overwhelming. And it is. Your life is split between what your needs are and what your children's needs are and your partner's needs, that we feel this sort of tug. But I think at the end of the day, I think the thought of looking back now, and I think Melissa, you'll appreciate this, years later, looking at your children and how they've grown and those awful sort of stressful times, just they don't even cross your mind anymore. It's like what you see are these beautiful creatures in front of you, and you think, oh, I had influence on them, and that's your reward. Is like seeing how they've sort of come to fruition, and they've blossomed in front of you. And I think it's hard when you're going through it as a young parent, but being aware that there is light at the end of the tunnel, although you won't see it for a while.
But I found even in that, although it takes more time in the mornings, more time commitment, I should say, with us moving to a new school, I
that's
found
the other thing you did this summer's moved.
So we have a new school, and that was a little stressful, but I found that, okay, we're a little closer, and the possibility to walk to school is there. So now we're doing that, and I feel like I'm committing more time, but it takes away some of the rush, and it allows us some activity together in the morning, and then on the way back, I'm taking a walk, on my own. So I'm incorporating that too. So even, I'm finding ways to make it different for them. So we don't have such a rush in the morning. Okay, I'm losing 30 minutes. I could be doing something, but okay, it's enriching, I think, for us to do that together.
And you're bonding, and it's nice that you can walk home, and that's your time, and I think
that self-care in there.
That's right. And it's like you've got to build those moments in so they feel natural, not like forced. And I think sometimes we just need to take that step back and think, well, okay, so the house is a mess. Later there'll be plenty of time to keep the house clean. Or, so I haven't bought what I said I was going to for dinner, but I'll just deal with what's in the the pantry or whatever. And I think it's sort of being able to let some things go to be able to enjoy the moment. And that moment with you guys walking to school, that's precious, It may not feel like it. It might be so stressful.
And it's not so much walking as following them in their little scooters. They're having so much fun. And
I had three, basically at that point, three in like 3 years. So, and I would like to walk to school because I thought it was good for them to sort of instill this sort of exercise without it feeling like it was exercise. But halfway through the walk to school, I'd be carrying one kid on one hip, another kid on the other, all their backpacks somehow.
Backpacks, or you're carrying the scooter or the bike because they've decided to run with their friends.
I'm just lugging these heavy weights to school, and it's like, it's okay. This is my exercise. This is my weight training,
Right. When at first I had to walk back with their little scooters, right? So I'm like, okay, muscle time. Well, now I'm liking it. I'm leaving it there because maybe I can walk back faster instead.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
you fine tune these little things along the
Yeah.
way. But I think it's nice, and now
Yeah.
I laugh about it. You know, it's
Oh,
like
we're having the best time. I'm putting some movement in there, increasing it by nearly 10 miles a week. If I
great.
can
That's
do
Wow.
this every day, every morning.
And you know
So,
how
Yeah.
good that is for them, though. It is so good. And you're showing your kids, you are their role model. So, you know, mum
Yeah.
does this with us, mum does that. And it's like you can't pay for that. You know. So you're earning their respect, and you're showing them good behavior and what is good for them, and the moving, all these things that like it just secondary to your initial let's get you to school sort of thought process, but the spin-offs are just so invaluable, you know.
yeah.
And it is something you'll talk about when they're older, and you go, hey, I remember when we used to walk to school and you guys were on your scooters, and it brings back these lovely memories, and those are the moments that you'll cherish as you get older. So yeah, keep doing what you're doing. Sounds great.
Yeah.
Yeah, and too, like you have just moved time around. I think sometimes we're like, oh, it takes time from here. I'm like, no, I've just recalibrated my time. So yeah, I'll do a little less here, but I get a little more of this here. So I've just shifted that. And for the season of your life that you're in, that's what you should be doing. And and that's that healthy balance. But oh yeah, so yeah, this is. I'm going to start wrapping this up here, but this has been such a great conversation. I loved how we kind of started with all of our, well, this is what happened this week. Here we are. But then we were able to really talk. Yeah, exactly that. But talk
And now
through it.
Nadine reminded me I had to go cook dinner.
I know. Me too. I just have the two of us at home though, so we're okay. And I think we got some leftovers in the fridge, but I remember those days. So, any last thoughts? Nadine's going to be getting, she's probably going to have a brunch or a lunch here soon. She's already moved into Tuesday, but
it's 9:30 in the morning. It's fine.
Oh gosh. Okay. Oh, you're in a good spot. Okay. So, last thought that you'd like to leave with our listeners today, and then share where people can find you and follow you, and then this will also be in our show notes. So, Nadine, go ahead and go first.
I've got this lovely quote. All right, this is by excuse me if I'm not speaking proper French, but Antoine de Saint-Exupéry. All right, he says, "Attitude is a paintbrush; it colors everything." So I like to sort of think that it comes down to me. All right, so if I've got the attitude, then everything will be okay. So, and on that note, tomorrow is a new day. So that's my sort of go-to. So I'd like to share that with the audience. So attitude is a paintbrush. It colors everything.
Ditto.
That's so good. Yeah, so good. Okay, Nadine, tell people where they can find you and follow you in your new book.
Okay, so my new book, The Grey Between, is available globally on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, a few other places as well. That is a collection of about 20, 30 years worth of life experience in poetic form. So my author site is www.nadineellis, NADINEELLIS.com. And I'm also on Instagram at Nadine Ellis Poetry. So that's all one word. So, buy the book. You'll love it.
Okay, awesome. Thank you. And Blanca, what's your last thought?
So I guess I'll say what I mentioned earlier is to try to take a pause before we react, right? Try to remain neutral. Nothing's inherently bad. I don't know how 100% I believe this, but nothing's inherently good. But, basically just taking the pause before reacting, thinking, because we will find that maybe things are not as bad as they were. And maybe we will take the pause and realize that things were really fantastic. Otherwise, we'll find the sunshine. at the end of the day, the sunset.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then your website.
My website is blancamadrigal.com, and my Instagram is blanca_madrigal. So yeah, that's where you can find most times. I'm connected in Facebook. I'm connected everywhere. I have
You
WhatsApp
are.
for those international people. Yeah.
Yeah, Blanca's not only connected everywhere socially, she's online. She's connected everywhere socially in Fresno. I will invite Blanca to go to something, and then I'll get there, and she's the one introducing me to everybody because she already
love that.
That's my favorite thing. Oh my gosh, I love it.
I
Well,
tell
thank
people. Oh, and soon I'll be having my like home studio. I have to invite you here too to
Yes. Oh, I can't wait
test
for
it
that.
out.
Yes. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I'll be. Yeah, absolutely. I'll be your test character. I can do that. That'll be a lot of fun. Okay. Well, ladies, thank you so much for joining me today in this Come As We Are. This was as true come as we are as we could get. And as always, we just always come away with such great nuggets and resources and support for each other. And I hope you all listening felt as supported by this conversation as I did being a part of it. Thank you so much to Blanca and Nadine for joining me. Ladies, you all have a great rest of your week. And all of you listening out there, thank you for joining us on Together We Feel. Take good care of yourselves. Take the pause. Your attitude colors everything. That's so good. I'm going to get, and remember that with whatever comes your way this week. Take good care. We're going to be off next week. It's Labor Day weekend here in the United States. We're not going to labor. We're gonna take the week off. It's a great opportunity to catch up on other panels that you might have missed, and then we'll be back with you here on Monday, September 8th. But thanks so much for listening, and have a great week.